Last week on Doubling Down with Colin and Vinny.
Well, I'm gonna go against Forte here, and it probably is gonna bite me.
Well, don't say
I
that
think
because I'm going against
I
Forte because you're
I
going against
know
Forte. You've been
he
talking bad
looks
about him to me.
he
Well, the horse that I love and I actually considered it's such a big field. They're 2-year olds, so it's a little scary to single horse, but I just absolutely love this too, Loggins.
yeah, Loggins is on my ticket as well. He just that debut race I thought was just too good to ignore.
Forte striding forward to challenge Loggins into the final furlong, and Forte is up to take the lead. Loggins is fighting on toward the inside, but second. Forte leads at a half length. Loggins is still there toward the inside. Look at these two juveniles going at it. Loggins and Forte, Forte and Loggins, and it is Forte.
My top pick is actually Annapolis for Todd Pletcher.
Love him.
Yeah, he's going back to a mile. He's got one win at the mile. He lost a Penn Mile earlier this year in his first race off a very long layoff. His last two races, though, he was second to Nation's Pride. If Nation's Pride was in here, would probably be the favorite, if we're being honest. And then he came back and there wasn't much in there, but he dominated that Saranac. But what I like about him is that he seems versatile.
Here's Annapolis looking for room. Mason still has the lead. Here comes Annapolis. Order of Australia is right there. Costa Creed on the far outside. Hatone drops back. Annapolis puts ahead in front. Order of Australia. Ivar is running late. It is Annapolis with the lead. Order of Australia. Ivar is there. It is Annapolis in front. It is Annapolis.
What's up, everybody? Colin Sheehan back here on Trust the Profits YouTube page, Doubling Down with Colin and Vinny. And that, my friends, is why we love and we hate horse racing. Loggins had an unbelievable effort, caught at the wire by Forte after going 22:46 and a half mile. I thought for sure he was going to fall. Then he fights back. And as you can see in that video, we both said Forte is going to be the one that beats us. And of course, 2 weeks in a row, we have lost by a head. So we are struggling here. That's why I said, Vinny, you're out, and Keith, you are in because we got to change our luck. How are you?
Good. How you doing now? Thank you, Colin, for having me. And Vinny, and then he rebounded in that second race though with Annapolis. What a great call, and ran a great race there on the turf. So against grade 1 caliber. So it was really impressive.
He did. He nailed that. And he even said before, he's like, I think I'm going to single Annapolis. And then we got talking about it. And before we started the show, he decided to adjust. And maybe if he singled Annapolis, he went a little bit longer and held Forte. I know if we had known what Forte's odds would go off at, we probably would have certainly kept them on there. So that was a killer. But that's in the past. That was an expensive ticket for us. As you'll be able to see, we decided to go $16 each last week. Vinny is just troublingly down going into the red. I have was up around 50. I'm now down to 24, but we're still in the green if you've been following along on Doubling Down with Colin and Vinny. So this week the tour has continued. We've hit a different track for I think the last 5 or 6 weeks, and I said, why don't we continue that theme? And this weekend we have decided to go to Gulfstream and play race 9 and race 10 for Saturday, October 15th. First, I just want to introduce everybody to Keith. He is every stride on Twitter. He's very active in the chats on the YouTube and Stable Duel. And so, Keith, I enjoy talking horses with you, and I'm glad that you were able to make some time to look at race 9 and 10 at Gulfstream this weekend.
I appreciate you having me on, Colin, and always fun talking horses with you. And this is an interesting sequence that we picked out here, and I'm sure you're gonna make a case for some horses, and maybe we'll line up on a few, and we're sure we'll have some interesting points to share.
That's the fun thing about doubles, right? I think the pick 4 and pick 5s, they're so hard to put together in a show like this, and the double we can put together some tickets that are, I like to call, more for the common man. We can do $4, $6, $8 tickets. We went a little thick last weekend, and unfortunately, as you saw, we got beat at the head again. So Hopefully today we can turn that around, and we will jump right into it as we take a look at Saturday, October 15th, race 9 at Gulfstream. In this sequence, we actually, and I didn't notice it when we put it together, but we ended up with 2 7-furlong races, optional claimers back to back. So hopefully that is what we are hot on this week. We'll take a look at race 9 is a field of 8. Your favorite is the 8 Avan Glory at 5-2 for Safi Joseph. Where'd you go here, Keith?
Yeah, this is a race I looked at every competitor, and originally I was going to single, and I'll tell you about that, but I am going to go 3 deep, and I'll start off with my first selection here to start off my double, and I'm going to go with number 1, September 10, and this is actually a reclaim by Rohan, and stretching back out to 7 furlongs. I always like to see these trainers kind of go back into the claiming and, pick the horse back that they had before. So some angle there. And then looks like as I watched the replay on this one, caught a sloppy track last time going 6 furlongs, but you finished up really well. I know that some horses really do like that sloppy track, but this, if you look at the previous races before here at 6 furlongs, one with Sonny Leon on September 3rd. And I just think that this horse has some talent. And going back to the preferred distance, and we'll see if Sammy Camacho, is handling the added distance this time. So I like that extra furlong for this horse. And I actually have 2 other ones I'm going to go with in here as well. And we'll go right to number 5 here, Prince of Iron. Let's see here. I'm actually going to pull up some information here on him. So this one, I want to share some, I know that this one's actually going off of a layoff, but this is David Fawkes trainer. And let's see, we actually have a angle here of 24% for David Fawkes off of a layoff like this. So I did find that in DRF Formulator. And I just want to actually pull up this work pattern. Sold me big time. So I'm going to look at that with you here. Okay, great. Let's show these lines here. So, I don't really like playing horses usually on a long layoff like this from February. But if you look at this pattern, we got just consistency from all the way here from September 4th. And there's no gaps in this pattern at all. I like seeing that. We got an easy 3 furlong to start, and then we're just building stamina and consistently good works. And then the last work, it looks like just another stamina building one to kind of, keep it in form there. But just no breaks in the workout. And 9-2 also kind of sold me on that. So Prince of Iron, it's going to be my second part of the double here.
Yeah, and I love this 5, and I think I saw that as well, that he hasn't raced for 8 months. However, it's important to note that this is a 3-year-old, and the last time we saw him was in February. I always stress on this show for folks the difference in a horse between early spring, in this case almost the winter of his 3-year-old season, compared to the fall of a 3-year-old season. That is a huge jump in maturity. And to look at that workout tab and see the times on those workouts was extremely impressive. So that jumped out to me as well. And I want you to look back at that October 2nd workout, which he did 4 furlongs in 47 seconds. That was out of the gate. Before that, it was 5 furlongs on slop. And as you said, it's every 6 and 7 days, very consistent. I had this horse as my on top pick. It's a 3-year-old. And one thing that I've read is claiming races, 3-year-olds versus older horses in the fall, later in the season, it's better to go with the older horses. However, in this case, I really do like this 5. I couldn't agree with the 1. I didn't like the price at 3-1. The race 2 back, I had a question mark on that. Like, was that just he popped really well? And right. Can he get back to that? And I'm a little concerned that he can't. A 6-year-old And when it really came down to it, the 3-1 is really kind of what turned me off. Although October 7th, this horse also just ran a 47-second 4 furlongs at Gulfstream, 3 out of 48 on that day. So he was kind of the one that ended up being last on my cutting block. But I couldn't agree with you more on the 5. Where else did you go?
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. And actually, as I touched on, I was thinking about originally singling this horse, Prince of Iron, to start off my double, but I wanted a little coverage. And actually, my last runner here is going to be Avan Glory on the outside, and I'll read you some here that I put together on this horse. So this horse is stretching out to the 7 furlongs. This is second actually off of a 2-month layoff, and just with this kind of second off the layoff, we got Safi, training, and I think this horse has some ability, and I think it's going to be just a little tighter, fitness wise, this second off the layoff. So I just didn't want to get beat by it. So I'm going to start off with 158 to start off our double.
Yeah, the 8 was another one that was on the cutting board for me, and I ended up going against. I am trying to. Something that I just recently read is pay attention in these claiming races, 3-year-olds going against older horses. It tends to go the way of the older horses, especially when you don't see a step up in class, because it shows that maybe they're not as confident in the horse. I don't care for the fact that in the last race, the comment says empty and 6 furlongs. It was sloppy, so it's hard to blame him on that. But now we're going 7 furlongs. 7 furlongs is a tricky distance, especially for 3-year-olds, although this horse did win at 6.5 furlongs. It broke his maiden at Gulfstream. The workout tab looks really good. It's putting up some really good numbers. But I just had to, at the 5-2, and I was already taking some short prices here. When you're putting together a double, you need to make decisions and you have to take an opinion. And unfortunately, that's what I had to do. And so because of that 3-year-old versus older horses, I decided to chop the 8, see you later, and take the 6, Miami. It's easy for me to say. I think this horse has a lot of backlash that I'm hoping reappears here at Gulfstream with Chantel Sutherland, who's consistently ridden this horse. It's 3rd off the layoff, which is an angle that I love, and 1st off the layoff to the 2nd off the layoff, there was a nice improvement. I'm really just hoping that early speed can be advantageous, because to me, although we won't see this in the next race where I think there's a ton of early speed, this one I didn't see a lot of early speed. So I'm hoping that this horse can just get out to the front and go. One thing else that I noticed, I used Brisnet past performances, and they give you the early pace of the last race. Inter Miami was clearly on top of that. But then sometimes when you see a horse that's clearly the early speed, when you look at the next column, which is their late speed, you'll see them at the bottom. And that is not the case with Inter Miami. I don't know. I can't say Miami. Inter Miami is right in the middle there. So to me, it's not a horse that's just going to completely drop off. So I'm a little worried about the layoff for Prince of Iron, but those works have me confident. And I wanted to take another older horse, and I think Inter Miami, my God, was the way to go. So I went with 2 horses here, the 5 and the 6. What do you think about the 6? Any interest?
No, I like it. I actually watched the replay with the 6 hit the front, and I believe, held 2nd there. So, 3rd off the layoff there, and you make a good case for that horse. I'm just kind of, I didn't want to take obviously too many in this leg. And then, with Gulfstream, sometimes I've seen these horses kind of come back and, maybe get tagged at the line. But I mean, I hope not for your case, but I would just say definitely showed some good speed last time, though. I do agree. And will most likely be the front pace setter. So could definitely hold on for 7 furlongs. So made a good case there.
The 3 Advanced Cash at 6-1 was another one that I thought was interesting. Had been running on the turf, then the synthetic, went to Colonial, finished 2nd, was gaining in that race down the stretch, which is a comment line I always like to see. And now your horse is stretching out a little bit longer. Don't know that you've totally seen the ability of this horse on the dirt.
Right.
That is the one I think that I'm probably most worried about. Only has 1 win in 15 career starts. That's kind of what eventually led me astray on picking this horse in my double. Other than that, I think we'll be pretty safe. I don't see much from the other two, and that's probably what just put them in the winner's circle for us. So anybody else you were worried about, or are we good to move on from race 9?
I think we're good. I actually watched the replay on Advanced Cash from Colonial, and showed some effort. I think from these lines, kind of, I get the impression that it could be just sort of like a need the lead kind of type. I know it was broke fourth and kind of gained a little bit. I really, it just wasn't totally sold on the horse coming off the pace. So, and I know Inter Miami and some other ones might show some speed. So I kind of, it's 6-1. I'm not sure if even this horse is really going to get bet much, but I was just willing to kind of take a stand there. And as I look at the work tab, it has a work on October 8th, but nothing really else from then. And I kind of just had to make a cut at that point. So.
Good, then you don't scare me about leaving them off, so I think we're comfortable. I'm going to go 5-6. Keith's going to go 1-5-8 here in race 9 on Saturday, October 15th at Gulfstream Park. We move on to race 10, and the conditions basically stay the same. We're going 7 furlongs, optional claimers for 25,000. Where'd you go here, Keith?
So yeah, as you actually just touched on, I see a lot of early speed here, a lot of horses that are going to want to go to the front. So that kind of swayed me in a few different directions here, but I actually ended up going, I'm going to make a case for this horse here, Three Witches, who actually won their maiden back in July. So I'm going to actually pull up some information here on this horse here. Let's see. Okay, great. So, with this one, she made her debut, obviously the winning one. Now, this race, I watched the replay, and this horse actually had all kind of trouble, bumped. At least this was actually her debut, bumped a few times, just really, conditions that weren't ideal. And then I watched the replay and just got up at the wire for the win. Now, there's a lot of speed in this race, and this kind of horse can come off the pace. I don't usually like to bet maidens and then they go on a break like that. But I do like the work tab here. I'm going to pull up that information. Let's take a look at that here. All right, let's go right to that. So this work tab I see here. So we went back to the work tab back on September 3rd, and then we go back September 24th. I just like to see a breeze. And then it looks like September 24th, we have a nice workout of 47 right there, 4 out of 44. And then, Palm Meadows, and then we're actually going with another 47 here, and just, consistent works back. And it's Safi Joseph. So this horse showed me some ability. So I'm going to include this 2-year, Three Witches. And then I am going to also go with the number 4, Dema Wonder. And I'll pull up this information here as well. So Dema Wonder is 9-2. So this morning line actually sold me here. Now this horse, I watched the replay. This horse is just in good form and drew the rail last time. Had the comment says awkward break. I didn't really think it was too awkward. I think just the horse kind of broke slow and kind of rushed up on the rail, and really just still finished second in that race. So kind of had to use some early energy to secure the spot. A lot of horses, as you've watched a lot of replays, they don't really like to go inside of horses and kind of, rush up like that on the rail. And, if you look back at these last few efforts, just consistently in the money. And I just think if you can get a cleaner break at 9-2, and, I just really think that, back to this distance here, as I'm looking at it, we were 6 furlongs last time. Now we're going back to 7. So I'm going to include that horse too. So I'm actually going to just stick with 2-4 for race 10 at Gulfstream.
Hopefully we get 2-4. I have them both on my ticket. I love the consistency on this 4, the 4-year-old who in 27 lifetime starts has hit the board 16, first or second 16 times, 19 times if you're including third. it always tends to be there. I'll tell you a funny story, because the first time I looked through this race, I didn't have what the morning line odds would be, and I immediately saw the 7 C Art, and on the Travers Weekend NHC free tournament, I made 2 changes to my tournament, and C Art was one of them, who I had as my top pick, and then I switched, and I missed out. I finished 15 out of 1,700 in that tournament, and the C Art absolutely would have gotten it home for me. So this is the first time I saw, and you look back at that running line, August 27th at 14-1. The horse was 4 wide up and cleared late. I immediately said, well, I think C Art's going to be on my ticket. And then I saw the 3-1 morning line. I started looking around at the other horses here, and I'm just not crazy about the price. If he beats me, it's just going to be more frustrating for me. But I'm going to leave C Art off the ticket. When I'm looking at my doubles, when I do get the morning line, I looked at the favorite, who is the 3, Poema, is how I guess I will pronounce it. And I'm just concerned that this horse tends to regress after a big effort. And that's what I saw in his last race. He had a big effort. And at 5-2, it's just not something that I'm willing to bite on a smaller ticket, especially when I took some of the lower prices in the first leg. So I decided to leave 3 off, and then you start kind of looking around, and I'm interested to see, as you said, on this too, has shown some talent, and there's always that question of what could be next, right? You hope he doesn't regress. You hope she hopes she does better. So I will definitely take a chance on that too, doing better in this race. The other horse that I looked at, who is a price who I liked, was the 6, Awfully Fast at 10-1, again with Chantel Sutherland. So maybe I can get the Chantel double here. But what I paid attention to is if you look at this 3-year-old season, starting out at Gulfstream and using Brisnet speed figures, 60-58, that's a coupled speed figure. Then couples another great effort with a 75 and a 74. Comes back August 26th and has another career effort going by Brisnet speed figures of 91, where she beats the field by 10 lengths and was driving at a mile. Going back and looking at some workouts, 2 bullets, 46 seconds, 4 furlongs. Can't argue with that. And she did that twice in a row, including 1 on the slop. To me, that was just eye-popping, and then comes out and does a couple tighteners of 4 furlongs. I like the connections here. Hasn't raced in 50 days, but those workouts look eye-popping to me. And at 10-1, that's not something I can ignore. Hopefully I get that 10-1 price. So Awfully Fast. Can't argue with that name either. You want the horse that's awfully fast. Right?
That's right. Oh, no, you made a great case right there with the workouts. And, I'm sure some other sharp handicappers might be betting this one down from 10-1 like yourself. So. Yeah,
I don't know if you're going to get 10-1, but to me, for those of you playing Stable Duel, right? I mean, to me, that's the horse that I'm putting
good point.
Out of this race in my Stable Duel, because the morning line might be wrong. That's exactly what you're looking for in a game such as Stable Duel. I ended up going 4 deep here, and I went with one more horse, which is the number 1. This 5-year-old who is very well at the distance, 10 out of 12, lifetime in the money, is coming off of a 2-month break. However, if you look back at the past performances, that hasn't been an issue with this horse. So I love the consistency. Jockey, only 5% wins, doesn't get the juices flowing. But again, I took those lower prices in the first leg to allow myself to maybe take a horse like this that's going to be, that is 8-1 on morning line. And I can't argue with the performances of winning last time out and then having 4 second-place finishes before that. As Vinny always likes to tease me, this horse doesn't win. Well, guess what? He won last race, so I know that she can at least handle it. She can do it. I also like the fact that in the Brisnet Prime Power number, she's 3rd on the list. Brisnet does have this race separated with 2 horses, the 3 and the 4. We both decided to go with the 4, and you passed on the 3 as well. How come?
Yeah, it's definitely this would have been the other horse. I did take a few chalkier choices in the previous double, in the previous race. So was just looking for some value here, and I actually ended up going with the 2 and the 4, so that's a 6-1 morning line on the 2, and then 9-2 on the 4. you touched on, I mean, cuts back from 7 furlongs, that 3. And I know the 3 and the 7 have kind of just been facing each other off, it looks like here. And, CR beat Polma, if I'm saying that right. And then, but yeah, I'm kind of just going to fade both of them just in hopes that I can get the maiden number 2 that showed some real promise there in that race. And then I do like Dema Wonder, if you can get a clean break and stretching out. And then we're getting, as far as Jaramillo trying to, really get the extra furlong there. And I'm just hoping for some value in this 10th race. And if I can get there, I feel pretty confident. And so I'm just going to go 2-4 there in race 10 to finish my double.
So if we get 5 in the first leg or the 2 and the 4 in the second leg, we'll both hit, which is nice. Me and Vinny have not been able to do that yet in the couple of races that we have had some of the same ones. So hopefully we can get that home for the viewers on this Saturday, October 15th, race 9 and race 10 at Gulfstream. None of the other horses in this race really got me going. You're going to need the lifetime best from the 9, frankly, my dear. If she beats me, she beats me. The 10 is last time faced 3-year-olds and up for the first time, lost by 10 lengths, including Dema Wonder, who's the other horse that we had.
Right.
So I'm pretty confident that we've covered the ones. We've left CR off. So you can text me when CR wins the race and say he beat us again. And you have these horses that do things like that to you. And I will just always remember CR now. And also I made one other change that day, which was Noble Emotion at Belmont at Aqueduct, who was the number 4.
I know that horse, yeah.
I think he or she just ran a week or 2 ago again, and I saw the name, and I immediately have those flashbacks of
what could have been, Yeah.
Yes. So we'll keep trying.
Last time I was on with you, Colin, I hit that pick 3 from Aqueduct, so we could kind of, make it 2 for 2 here, and it was a nice hit I had last time, and I know I'm going 3x2 right here, but it'd be nice, like you touched on, a daily double's a nice economical play. You don't have to hit 5 races in a row, so you can hit 2 and be rewarded nicely.
That's right. This show is for the common man. Thanks so much for joining me, Keith. My ticket is 5-6 in race 9, 1-2-4-6 in race 10 on Saturday. You want to give out your ticket one more time?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 1, 5, and 8 in race 9, and then I'm going to go with the 2, 4 in race 10. You could play it either for $1 or whatever you like to play it for.
Yep, my ticket is $8. His ticket's $6. Common man, common bets. Thanks for joining me on Doubling Down with Colin.
Thank you.
Hopefully we can finally get a winner because I'm so sick and tired of getting beat at the wire.
Let's win this. Yeah. Appreciate it, Colin.
We have plenty of content coming here on the channel for Breeders' Cup coverage. And I got some specials coming out regarding that. And we also have our Kentucky Derby 2-year-old show that we are following the 2-year-olds. My boy Loggins, don't sleep on him.